with this CGT and negative gearing thingy that is going on right now, or which is already implemented.
So 10 years ago, if they had money in their bank account and they want to do the financial decision, we call it manufactured equity. And I've done it for a lot of my clients.
What is manufactured equity? I mean, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Manufactured equity is the one like traditionally a lot of the investors and then the property buyers.
What is the most requested? Is it extension or is it addition of a new?
I think again it depends on the client to client as well.
Why Emerald projects? Why should somebody come to you?
The reason a lot of my clients, the reason a lot of our clients come to us is because there is a system.
Hi, welcome to Inspire from Reality. At Inspire from Reality, we always bring inspiring stories. Stories that inspires us, stories that gives us something to take home. And if you like our channel and if you're listening, please subscribe us so that we can bring more guests to you with more stories for you to take home. Today we have a guest who, from being an immigrant, from being a physics student, to working in the construction industry, to building his own empire called Emerald Projects. Let's welcome Sidhu. Sidhu, welcome to our studio.
Thanks, Alka. Thank you for having me. So as you mentioned, as a migrant, when I came to this country, I, as like everybody else, started with a lot of odd jobs. And because I've done majors in masters in physics from Punjab University back home, so that really helped me to start in an engineering field. And somehow I landed in the construction industry. So this is where my journey started.
See, that's what we said. See, our past is what defines us. Your past of entering into construction industry made you start Emerald Projects. But let's go back a set to that and ask, why Emerald Projects? Like, why did you decide to start your own business and be in this construction industry, helping people or family?
See, right from the childhood, I had a very detailed eye. And I remember in my class, I was one of those kids whose shoes will be always polished.
Oh, wow.
So I have a very attention to detail right from the beginning. And later on, doing masters in physics, that bring me a lot of my analytical skills together. So when I was working in as an estimating drafter in Sydney, that was my very first job. I actually worked alongside with some of the top tier builders in Sydney, like some of the very famous one and Lendlease, Multiplex, some others as well. So I get to understand the high-end construction, how the finishes work. So I had to do some construction courses. Later on, I co-founded another business as well, and eventually I became a licensed builder. So when I decided to form the Emerald Projects, the main thing which I wanted to conquer behind was that a lot of the time the people, being it the homeowners or the business owners, we don't need the transformation only. There is always a desire, a need that always comes through from the behind. So there is always something that may have happened, like a change in the lifestyle that has brought up, and the renovation, extension, or the fit out is just simply catching it up. So the reason why Emerald Projects, as you know, Emerald is a green gemstone, and which represents the growth, harmony. So this is what we do. When we take on a project, we basically redefine it, reshape it, redesign it. And as you know, with the emerald, the finer the cut, it becomes a more.
Or more.
So each and every cut brings its own uniqueness and makes it more beautiful as well. So the same thing what we do with the renovations and extensions as well, or the fit outs. So when we do the thoughtful renovations, we make sure that it brings out the beauty. And the renovation or extension shouldn't look like an add-on. Yes. It should look like as if the home has found its missing piece.
Wow, that was really good one, that home has found its missing piece. So now let me ask you, so yes, emotions are there, but do you often see people also thinking a lot before renovating? Because see, if I have a growing family and I'm in a 2-bedroom and now I need a 4-bedroom, but then again, that becomes an extra investment and people always think about it, right? So is it a good time when they're thinking about it to reach you and talk to you, right? Before even deciding, and before in that process of deciding and thinking, that is the process when they should reach you, because I know you give a full holistic solution to it.
Yes. I think that's probably one of the best time to reach out to me because we have a process where we can take care of everything from start to finish. So we have a 7-step construction journey where we do a concept plan and that gives the clarity to the client, the end dream, what they're trying to achieve. So, and we try to understand what is the main reason they want to extend. It's not simply adding up the few square meters. It's basically to add the cater the need of the family. Sometimes it may be like the family is outgrowing now they need additional bedrooms. And sometimes they need additional space because the family from the overseas visit them a lot and they need to have a private space for all of them. Sometimes it could be only like maybe having a teenage retreat
Yes.
or extending at the back to have the outdoor indoor living together. So once we have established that, then we do the design thing. We call it a concept design where we discuss with the client what are the needs and what can be done. Then what pathway we will be taking, be it a CDC or DA. So then we guide the client. Now the good thing is because we're managing everything, so we give them a fixed price on the concept plan with the promise that it will be with a fixed time as well, backed by the rental guarantee.
Wow.
So what it means basically the client has a peace of mind that the price which I'm telling them, it will include everything. Approvals,
Yep.
engagement of all the consultants, the selections, and of course the construction and at the end, occupation certificate as well.
That is very important, Sidhu, because most of the time I see the biggest challenge of having somebody working on your property is the hidden cost. The
Yeah.
moment you said we give them a fixed cost that includes everything, me as a busy business owner or as a person in my
Yeah.
life, this is the best thing because I would not have time to see what are the hidden costs there.
Yeah.
I think this is why Emerald Projects is growing so fast. I have been hearing so much about you. People are coming up, and I met a couple of your clients also, and they were really telling good things about you. Maybe because of honesty that you have kept together, or transparency, I would say, instead of honesty. The transparency that you bring to the client or to the projects is what is bringing this up.
100% Alka. I think one thing which I've realized is a small industry. And the good name, it travels around a lot more. And if someone is doing a bad job, the bad name also travels around.
100%.
So what often say to my clients, like, please, you can be direct to me, but let's have an open and transparent communication. And most of the clients, they really appreciate that. And I encourage my clients, ask any questions, whatever you feel like. And some of the questions time to time, I do get to hear from my clients saying that, okay, what's not included in there? And one of the question which I really love it because that shows the level of trust what they're putting on me.
Yep.
So I can simply tell them what is included and what is not included in there. So and in that case, if there is any variation, then there is a process to it as well. The client has to approve it before we as a builder can actually request for the variation. So they already know that, okay, what are they getting into it? Because at the end of the day, it's not about just bricks and mortars. It's not about just doing the simple extension. It's the experience.
Yes.
It's the journey we take them through. And then the peace of mind they had right from the day one. Another thing what we do to keep the transparency going on, we hold weekly site meetings. Because I've been hearing in this thing in the industry for a while that a lot of the time in some projects, sadly, they don't hear from the builder at all. And I've noticed this thing when we do the weekly site meetings, the client gets to know that, okay, what's been done, what will be done in the following week, and if there is any key decision that needs to be made,
Correct.
it should be made
Yes,
in a timely
yes.
manner.
Weekly meetings, that's a very big effort because it's time that you spend with the client weekly. They would be getting so much of peace of mind
Yeah.
as well as they're aware of what's happening to their money that they're
Yes.
investing. Very important. Tell me one thing, Sidhu, now.
Yeah.
With this CGT and negative gearing thingy that is going on right now or which is already implemented, how has renovation industry or the industry that you are in, how is it affected? Has it boomed? Has it been affected? What are your calls right now?
Yeah, I think this is given that like the current circumstances, things have changed. So 10 years ago, if they had money in their bank account and they want to do the financial decision on the thing, they may go buy an investment property somewhere, anywhere else. In today's market, due to the CGT changes, that has changed a lot. Now, some people are still buying for the new home developments. And however, I have seen a lot of the people, they will actually reinvest that same amount of money into their own house they're living in, like the principal place of residence. And we all know this thing, the principal place of residence are tax exempt, which means the CGT rule does not apply to it. So my advice to everyone is basically before you before you decide to do any investment decision, why don't you consider investing in your own home?
And do you pay tax on that?
If it's a primary place of residence, there is no tax on it.
Oh wow. So what you invest will be not included in the when you sell the house, it's not taxable.
Yes, it's 100% CGT exempt
Wow.
because it's a primary place of residence.
And you're also getting value added when you're selling because you have done you have added something, good feature. It's not like just putting a cupboard because cupboards don't put, just adding something simple, painting the wallpaper is not going to give you a value add. But this kind of reno will give a value add to increase the sale value of the company, of the houses, plus it's tax exempted.
Yes. We call it manufactured equity. And I've done it for a lot of my clients.
What is manufacture of equity? I mean, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Manufactured equity is the one like traditionally a lot of the investors and then the property buyers, what they do, they buy the property and they hold it for a long period of time and wait for the market to appreciate. So that traditional goes up. Manufactured activity is actually more proactive approach where they do the careful and smart renovations and extensions within the property. And without the irrespective where the market is going, they're able to get more money out of it.
Give me an example.
Oh, my example is the prime one. I remember years ago, I renovated my home internally for $70,000. And later on, I did the bank revaluation. And the valuation came the more than 200K.
Oh, wow.
Which I basically put it into the next extensions and the future projects.
Cool. That's amazing. So say particularly what I feel for the people, those who are in the hills or towards the Pennant Hills and all this area, it's a very good location. But when you buy the house, it's old house. There are so many things that you need to renovate. They would be an ideal people to think right now. But let's paint a picture like this. Just give me an example of this area. When should they think of renovation and when they should not think of renovation? And what kind of projects is called renovation? There are so many things, like as I said, sometimes people say, oh, I renovated my wall, and they just go and paint the wall. That's not renovation, right? So give an example of that.
I think that a lot of the time the decision comes to the individual family circumstances, what we want to do and why we're renovating and extending. In simple terms, the renovation example is like it could be cosmetic renovations, And I was looking at the statistics from the ABS. What I found it actually that 1 in 5 people actually renovate, and it can be cosmetic renovations as well when they purchase a property. And then remaining 80%, they will do a renovation within the next 12 to 24 months. So this is a huge statistics within the Sydney market. It's available on the ABS. So what it tells us basically that the lifestyle is very important thing. So a lot of the time when we buy the property in the hills area, inner western suburbs, or the North Shore areas, the land value is very high.
Yes.
So in those areas, doing the renovation and extension by adding few extra square meters of the house adds a lot more value. Compared to when you go to we call this thing called the middle ring suburbs, which basically starts from the hills area, North Shore, and the inner western suburbs. Primarily, the main differentiator is basically the land value is significantly high compared to the build value. Now, in some circumstances, the renovation may not be feasible for someone, especially for the people living in the outer ring suburbs.
So what does outer ring suburbs mean?
The outer ring suburbs, these are generally the new suburbs where the land value is not significantly higher as compared to the build value. And a lot of the time, for someone to do a renovation and extension, they will end up costing the same money or more compared to a new build. And at the same time, there is a lot of the new home stock is available. So in the outer ring suburbs, generally doing a renovation is not advisable.
Okay, so advisable is only when you are in a ring and these places and you want to
Correct.
change your lifestyle,
You want to upgrade the
upgrade the
lifestyle,
lifestyle, and
and
get also CGT benefit, get also
yes,
tax benefit. Yeah, that's very important because it's all trending right now. Everybody is talking about all about tax. So if I want to renovate, okay,
yeah.
so what are the things that I should look into? Like I know we'll talk to specialists like you, but for my own, when we are discussing at family, what is the first thought when those kind of things should be planted in brain, and what the first thing I should think about?
For me as a renovator, the first thing which I like to know is basically what has changed in your lifestyle that is triggering the renovation need or this extension, be it the first floor addition, ground floor extension. So once I've understood that, then I can give you the my advice as an expert that what can be done around those things. Maybe renovation or extension is the best thing for you as a client, or it may not be a best thing. So unless and until we wouldn't know that what has sparked this idea of renovation and then how we can cater the need, it's a bit hard to land on something saying that a renovation should be done or not.
So let me rephrase it like this. What are the 5 big mistakes people do while renovating? And what are the 5 big mistakes people do by not renovating? I'm not saying about the new houses. I'm really saying about the houses, those who have space to renovate and maybe having one bathroom, 4 kids, like those kind of people. So give me 5 things that actually can go wrong when they're deciding to renovate, and 5 things that can actually go wrong for deciding not to renovate at that moment of my time.
I think let's talk about the things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
The majority of the things which I can see in there is the lack of planning, not spending enough time on the planning. And then the other thing could be the selecting the right consultants, the people who has been doing the renovations and extensions. Because here's the thing, renovation and extension is a lot more complex as compared to the new build, because here we have to cater the need of the family by keeping in mind there will be an existing structure and there will be a new structure and how we marry them together.
Yes.
So it's very important the person we are talking to, a client who is engaging a contractor, they have the experience, they have the expertise, and they have the analytical skills to basically do the problem solving on the site. They can't just leave it on the trades and say that okay, all right, they will figure it out.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
needs to be a proper head contractor who has understood the thing and who can basically guide the client to the entire process, how it will happen. Often some of the clients they may bring their own design, which is fine, but it's a job of a renovator or a builder who specializes in extensions and first floor addition to look at the plan and advise the client it is possible or it is not possible. There may be a constraint or there may not be a constraint. Sometimes there could be other local constraints as well, like the easement,
Yes.
or there could be some planning constraints as well. So a lot of those things needs to be mindful. I recall one of my previous client, they brought the plans to me and I advised them don't do the extension, rather do knockdown rebuild.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reason was that because I did not see the value in there, the amount of effort they're putting in, I could not see how it will be financially beneficial for them, what they're trying to achieve. Because with the extension, they were limited in a lot of things as well.
Correct.
And the design which they wanted to achieve, they were still compromising it. So in that case, now on the other side, what can actually work? So the thing is, if you living in a local suburb and where the kids have been going to the school, they have developed a lot of friendship, and they know the local community, they know the local shops, a lot of those things. You know where you can't put a price tag on it, all those things, and the family is outgrowing, or there is some additional need for coming up. They have a big backyard, or they have a space. It's a single-story house. They can extend one story up, then they can do the extensions or additions and add a significant value to it. So you know how we spoke about the manufactured equity? I have seen some of my clients, they have done it in the past as well. I can recall 2 examples, one from the hills and one from the inner western suburbs, where they had an old house with a very old compact layout, old bathrooms, and only few bedrooms. They came to us. We understood their needs and what they're trying to achieve, and did the open plan design with additional number of bathrooms and a modern living room.
Wow.
Now, for every dollar spent, they were able to regain $2.50,
That's more than double.
more than double.
Wow.
Case by case is different. So, but these two examples, I still remember that they were able to do that. How I came to know about this one was because both of them did the reevaluation from the bank, and then they used that equity for some other purposes.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's how I came to know that. So the renovations, if done properly, they can be a very smart things.
Correct.
So, in other words, the people who have a block of land and who wants to add value in the property they're living in, and they don't want to pay anything in the CGT, they are the ideal one. They should do the renovation
Yeah.
and extensions.
But Sidhu, when before meeting you, I have been in Australia for almost 12 years now. Before meeting you or before knowing something like that, I had never knew that you can add an extra floor to your single story. I always thought if you have done single story, it's done. You can never add. And first time when I heard you that extension of to the first floor, I was like, can you? And then you explained me, but
Yes.
how you can. So if you can tell my audience also same thing, how when they are extending to the next floor, second floor, let's say first floor, how does can they live in the house? What kind of thing do you see before extending to the first floor? And give an example.
Yeah, so it's um, most of the time we are able to do the first floor additions. However, part of our procedure is that we do the structural assessment of the existing house as well. Now, I don't recall any examples where my client wanted to do a first floor addition and they couldn't do it because of the structural thing. Because guess what? If we're engaging a structure engineer, we can always add up some additional support pillars wherever we need to. And another reason is a lot of the time the clients who wants to do first floor addition, the reason why they like it because they love to see a bigger void when they enter in, the double story ceiling,
Yes.
or another maybe an additional void at the back. So the idea is basically that you have a lot of new rooms, you have the void, so the upstairs and downstairs are connected to each
Yeah.
other. It doesn't look like a separate portions. And void is one of those things where you can create that.
Yes. Wow. Yes. 100%. That sounds great. So can they live in the house when you are doing the second addition of the floor?
Case by case is different. However, I've seen in most of the cases, if we're constructing the entire ground floor into converting into the same as a first floor addition, it may be a bit hard for them to live in the space.
But if there is an extension in the house, then they can leave.
Generally, with the ground floor extensions or even the first floor extensions as well, there is a possibility they can live in a house. We simply close off the portion of the house, and then the client can live there easily.
Okay. So which is a mostly people think before? So many people come to you with requirement. What is the most requested? Is it extension or is it addition of a new floor?
I think again it depends on the client to client as well. I had clients who will ask me for both options. In fact, I'm working with one of the client in the Ponds area, and they asked me to give them two different designs. So I gave them one design for the ground floor extension, the other one was for first floor addition. And the good thing was because both of the designs were creating something modern and unique and catering their needs,
Yep.
and they're able to see what's the dollar value what they will be putting out
Yep.
at the end of the day. And of course, the thing is, if they're investing, if they're putting a more dollar value in there, the return is higher. And we all know this thing: the single-story house
Yes.
has a less price as compared to a double-story house.
Yeah, that is all over Australia because it's all about adding value and which you
Yes.
do so nicely to everyone. So, Sidhu, a simple question, direct straight from my audience. Okay, if somebody has a 500K, and today with all the new rules that happen and is happening, okay, so where should they invest? From you being an investor, I know you are an investor. I know you are a business owner. And you do renovation, you have done your renovation extension to your own property. So
Yeah.
as this, if you today have a 500K, forget about it. If you today have a 500K, what is the best investment you will do?
I think with the given the circumstances with the recent CGT changes, it has changed a lot of things. What traditionally people used to do here in Australia. One of the things which now a lot of people are realizing it that they're exploring the potential within their own primary home they're living in. So you will be surprised to know this thing. If we're investing that much money into their own family home, it will give them a lot of return.
Correct.
And I've seen this pattern recently since all this change happened, that people are either going for the new development completely, or they're going for the ETFs, shares, superannuation, or
No,
they're investing
superannuation is
into,
getting off. Super SMSF
yeah,
is going for Resi is going off now. Like you cannot do any more
the
Resi.
commercial is still there,
Yes, commercial is still there.
So let me take a step back in that sense. So generally, in today's market, what I've seen with the investors, they may go for a new property in development, or they may go for a commercial property through the SMSF, ETF, shares. By all means, I'm not giving any advice here. It's a general thing
Yes.
with a disclaimer. So, but I've noticed at the same time, a lot of people are investing the money into their own family home. And it can be as little as just simply renovating it, making a proper renovation with the open plan living, with the modern design, kitchen, the bathrooms, be it simple, the wall hung vanities with the niches, spa bath in there. And then another thing which I've noticed, people are taking the time to renovate their facades as well.
Yes.
The facade and the landscape, which is often one of those
Most ignored thing.
ignored thing.
Right?
People
Yeah.
don't realize it. It adds so much significant value as compared to the rest of the things what we do. So this is one of the common trend which I've been seeing. People are taking the time to think about it and investing into their own home, the one
Right.
they're sleeping in. So often the smartest decision is not buying another property next door. It's actually the property you're sleeping
Yeah,
in.
the PPOR to improve the value
Yes.
of PPOR rather than just investing like headless chicken everywhere.
Yes.
But because of this, also the new property entry price has become too high now. That's also one of the reasons you cannot just go and buy anywhere property now. This has affected even first home buyers. What's your thought on that? Because their entry to the market has become very hard.
I think actually with these recent changes, again, being a renovator and extension builder, my opinion can be slightly biased. But what I've been noticing at the same time is probably a good step towards the first home buyers, because now the investors are not buying the existing properties.
Exactly.
And we all know this thing, if it's a primary place of residence, there's no CGT on that.
Exactly, yes.
So, which means basically there is a lot of property that are available purely for the first home buyers.
Yes, and the price has come down for first home buyers to enter the market at a very good location.
Yes. I wouldn't call it like the price has actually come down. I think the market is actually settling where it should be.
Self correcting.
It's basically correcting itself.
Yes.
And which is a good thing for the first home buyers. So some people may not like this thing, being the investors, but this is the reality. At the end of the day, everybody deserves to have a roof on their head.
Yes.
They should have their own family home.
Yes. This is what I have seen in last 2 months, that the first home buyers can buy the property in a good location instead of being shunned out in the outskirt of the city. And since they can now enter this new property in a year's time, they would have enough savings to put back to renovate, which where you come into picture, they would renovate and it increases the value. Ultimately, it is no more entering late into the market, it's entering smart into the market and using that next 6-7 months how to flip it into better property and get equity out of it to invest, right?
Yes. So this is one of the most smartest thing. A lot of the people are doing it now. When they buy the property, they do the cosmetic changes, be it with the flooring, painting, the switches, that sort of stuff. Sometimes one thing which I've always noticed, like if the design is done good, if the planning is done properly, the design actually properly flows.
Yes.
So we have open plans and the rooms are connected to each other in a nicely way. There's no value to that thing. Like the amount of value which adds to the property is significant.
Tell me the emotions that people come with you. Like, I know we have spoken about all those financial thing like tax benefit or adding values, all this. But what is the mostly renovation is a emotional driven decision than a financial driven decision. So tell me, what are the emotions that drive through this? And you can give me an example. The one which we were speaking about, Matthew Pierce School. You gave me an example a couple of days back. That would be a great example here.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things when the family is growing out and they have memories in a house. And a lot of the time, they don't want to leave the house. It could be as simple as like the kitchen has the marking of the different heights of their kids when they were at different points in the life. So plus the local neighborhood, they really love it. So all they need is basically just some more space to accommodate the needs of a growing family. So in that respect, the doing the renovations, extensions adds a significant value, and it makes sense to the for the family as well. So with as somebody living in the hills area, or maybe living to the close to the Pimble in the Pimble Girls School, or maybe even in Cherrybrook Primary or High School, that's what I've seen a lot of the time. The people will say, "Look, we will still stay in the same area because we love the neighborhood. We know which person is living next door, and then who is on the street, and they have kind of formed a community anyway, and they're familiar with the local shops as well." That's the time they decide to do the renovations. Continuing further on that thing, I can recall two of the examples. I had one of my very lovely client. They had two kids. Previously, they were sharing the bedroom. But then the older one started going into the high school, Cherrybrook High School. The younger one was still going in the primary school. So the older one sort of needed a separate room. And later on, as we know, when they go in the high school with all the studies, focus on the
Yes,
studies and the
yes.
thing. So they decided to do the extensions, and they don't want to leave the house or move the area because they knew the younger one will be going to the same school as well.
Yes, 100%. And then if one is going, the other one follows. For me too,
Yes.
my one kid is going, the other one will follow there. It's easy. It's
Yeah.
convenient, I'd
Yeah.
say. Convenient and is the best emotion I can say here. Okay, so the biggest question, why Emerald Projects? Why should somebody come to you? There's so many builders, so many renovation guys, and there are independent contractors, and they can have carpenters, independently contractors too. So why do they come to you? What do you provide such important to the client?
That's one of the very great question. Um, the clients are free to engage anybody they want. It's purely their decision, and it comes down to the individual values, what they value for thing. The reason a lot of my clients, so the reason a lot of our clients come to us is because there is a system. We have a system, we have a procedure, and we can literally guide them right from the day one when they don't have anything on the paper to do the concept plan, manage all the approvals, and then do the construction and handover. Alternative to that, our client can go directly to an architect as well and ask for the plans to be done, and then engage all the consultants. So only to find out when they come to a builder that whatever they price. Alternative to that, the client can go directly to an architect as well and engage all the other consultants, formalize the things, and then come to a builder like myself, and then only to find out that whatever they are trying to have is going to cost a lot more than that what they were initially anticipating. So in that case, they would have to go back on the drawing table, and the resources will have to be engaged again. Other example is a client can basically manage and directly go to the independent contractors as well. In that case, they become the owner builder.
Yes.
The owner builder has his own responsibilities. Uh, if they love managing the trades, then they may be able to find the time. However, what I've noticed a lot of the time, the people when they're working full time, they don't have the time to manage all the trades, because managing the trades, managing the site, making sure it's done up to a certain quality is a full time job.
Yes.
It's not something someone can do it part time. So this is where a lot of things happen. And more importantly, I think when an owner builder is doing it, they don't know what to expect,
100%.
how one trade needs to finish so that it does not add additional work for the next trade.
Yes.
This is where a role of a licensed builder like myself, like our team, comes in the place, because we know what to expect, how one trade needs to finish so that it's ready for the next one. Another thing is, I think why Emerald Projects compared to any other builder in the market is basically we can have a transparent communication, and we sign fixed price contract with a fixed time backed by the rental guarantee. And we literally mention on the contract that if we don't finish your job in this time frame, we as a builder, we're liable to put this much money every day back to the client. I haven't came across any other builder in the market yet who is offering such thing.
Oh, wow. See, this is what makes you different. Like, I always feel that transparency and honesty and being accountable is very important as a business.
Yeah.
And I think Emerald Project is being very accountable here.
Yeah. I think accountability, being a builder, is right on the top, because as a builder, we have to offer 7 years warranties, on the structure and the waterproofing especially. And then we work with the certifiers, structure engineers. And now here's one of those things which I like to mention, that the certifiers I normally work with, they are very thorough and detailed. And the one thing which I've learned by having 14 years of experience in the industry is that if we have the good team around us, they can do the job once and properly. Or even if there is an issue, they can rectify it in such a way that it doesn't become a headache again and again. So finding the right contact is very important. And it starts from the consultant, builders, architects, and the trades as well.
100%. It was really lovely having you here, Sidhu. Understanding the concept of renovation and why, when, who should do it was really great to know. And your journey has been exceptional. The way you started with your career with physics and then into construction and then building this empire of Emerald projects. All the best to your future.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.